Hello everyone, so today's review is of the Half-Zatoichi. There's a fair chance I said that wrong, sorry if I did. Help me. TF2 wiki, help me with the pronunciation please. No, it doesn't say? Okay. So by now you probably already know what the Half-Zatoichi is. It's a melee weapon for both soldier and demo man. And it's a really interesting weapon because it's got several unique kind of mechanics associated with it. So the first of these is the kind of duel system. And what that means is that soldiers and demos can one-hit kill each other when they're using the katana, as I'm going to refer to it from now on, since I don't want to embarrass myself by pronouncing the name of the weapon wrong. So let's talk about the weapon in greater depth. Now, we can move on to the weapon's upside, which is the unique mechanic that when you kill someone with the weapon you gain 50% of your base health on kill. Since this is a soldier review, I'm going to be talking about how this impacts soldier, and this gives soldier 100 health since that's 50% of his base health, so fairly easy maths right there. This upside is pretty situational but also really fun to pull off when you just whack someone in the face with the katana and you can get yourself out of a pinch using extra health. And in casual mode you're going to be running into a lot of spies who don't know how to backstab, and you'll just be able to punish them and gain your own overheal from this, since this can go above your maximum health. Now we should move on to the downside of the weapon, and the downside is called honor bound. What this means is that if you put the weapon away without getting a kill from it, you will lose 50 health. I'm not crystal clear if this is the same on the demo man, because I'm a soldier main and I'm talking about this weapon in the context of how it can be used on soldier, but either way, you lose health if you sheath this weapon without having killed someone with it. Now, this is a pretty negligible downside unless you pull out this weapon when you shouldn't. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done, just don't pull out the weapon when you shouldn't pull it out, But in the end, this comes down to experience. Experienced players should be able to know when, well, okay, I shouldn't pull out my melee weapon in this situation because I don't want to take the penalty from it. Obviously, if you're standing right next to a resupply cabinet or a medic, it's not such a problem. And this supposed downside does actually lead to an upside in competitive, which is that you can use the Half-Zatoichi to build Uber without having to use ammo. I think other YouTubers go into greater depth on this, but this is primarily talking from a casual point of view, so I'm not really focused on teams who will be building Uber or using it for that kind of purpose. I'm talking about players who will just be out for themselves in casual. Now, this weapon can be pretty useful for that, and one of the functions of the weapon is that it counts as a sword, which means it has a longer melee range and deploys and holsters slower. Now, I personally don't think the fact that it deploys and holsters slower is so much of a problem, because, you know, I've not run into very many situations where it's been a problem for me. But, you know, it can be worth taking into consideration. As for the extended melee range, this can give you an advantage in fights against, for example, spies. And dealing with spies is pretty useful because, let's face it, every single casual match I've been in has like 16 spies in it, so it's always worth making sure you know how to deal with them properly. On the other hand, the general community consensus on the Half-Zatoichi seems to be that it is not a very useful weapon on the soldier. And although I can see where people are coming from, it doesn't have utility as such. It's a weapon you hit people with, that's about it. But I tend to disagree, because in casual mode, are you really going to be playing with a team who are organized? No, not really. Most of the time, you're just out for yourself trying to have fun, and this weapon will let you do that. What can be more satisfying than just whipping out a giant sword and cutting off an annoying spy's head with it who is trying to backstab you? It's just a lot of fun to play with, and I think for a weapon in Team Fortress 2 where all weapons are side grades only and not upgrades or downgrades, I feel like that's what a weapon should be, you know? It's just, it provides a fun, unique playstyle, like running around and whacking people with a sword in exchange for maybe it doesn't have quite as much utility, like you can't use it to speed up your teammates, and you can't use it to run away, but, you know, if it's fun, then, you know, that's about all it's there for. You might as well make use of it. And that's why I like the Half-Zatoichi in Team Fortress 2. If you agree with me, disagree with me, well, either way, let me know down in the comments, and I will read through all of those, unless I get an overwhelming number, which is highly unlikely. and I'll see you next